What's up, guys? I'm Johnny Phantom, and today I'm here to talk to you about Harry Potter. If you're new here, I'm Johnny Phantom. I talk about all things fandom, such as Harry Potter, Disney, Star Wars, One Piece, Dragon Ball, fandom. And I discuss theories and other stuff. And today we are discussing Harry Potter theories that are just... What? Yes, we are discussing 10 Harry Potter theories that make you want to say, what? Because these theories are definitely not confirmed and are just out of this world and make you question everything that you've ever known. So without further ado, make sure to like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell so you miss the video, because I post a video every Monday and Wednesday. And let's get into today's video. So the first theory, this one is a little possibility that could be true, but it's not confirmed. First theory is that Snape was supposed to be a vampire. He's always described as bat-like, the way he walks and flies, and he's always described as bat. And we even see him flying out the window and possibly turning into a bat. The way it describes in the book, it's bat-like. So this theory discusses that Snape is a a vampire. Snape was always described as bat-like several times in the book, but some fans think that is done deliberately, obviously, because it is, it's speculation that we all do. And he could still be the half-blood prince with this information, because if he was a half vampire, half wizard, he's still technically a half-blood. And therefore, he could still dislike mudbloods, as in muggle bloods, because he's not one. So it wouldn't really affect that, and he could still potentially be, on that side. So half-blood prince could still be half-blood, because he still has half wizard blood and half something else. The other half could potentially be the vampire blood. So that still checks out. Also, a funny little note in the book that kind of makes this a little funny if it is true. In the books, when Snape takes over for Lupin, he assigns them werewolf homework because of Lupin. And when Lupin comes back to class, he assigns them vampire homework. Yeah. Leave that there. Next theory. Ron is a seer. I mean, Trelawney is a little dead sometimes, and she doesn't actually know that she thinks she has this power of the seer, but she's claimed that she's not, and she's like, yeah, I'm a fraud. But you did come to crazy prophecies that can't be true, both of them. So you are a seer. Ron, on the other hand, if you've only seen the movies, you're not really going to understand this, because they ignore a lot of stuff about Ron in the movies. They make him look out like a dimwit kid who just likes to eat chicken all the time. Ron is actually very smart and actually does a lot of good. The movies change a whole bunch of stuff with Ron, and a lot of the things that Ron comes up with, in the movies, they made Hermione say instead. Why? I don't know. Whatever. See, I don't know how true this is, because this is a little wonky. And I just re-listened to the books on Audible, and I don't remember this part in the divination class, so maybe I have to go back and listen to it. But it says here that in divination class, Ron jokingly made a few statements about Harry getting a windfall and Riddle killing Myrtle, and that both those were proved to be true in the series. I have to go back and listen to it because they have the divination class in third year, and they find out about Myrtle. I don't see any other evidence of Ron being a seer. It just doesn't make sense at all. But the fact that the movies do kind of twist it a little bit, that's why you got to go back and reread the books. And I've been doing that right now. I'm on Deathly Hallows, and then once I'm done at Deathly Hallows, I'll probably go back and start again. Yeah. Theory number 8. Dumbledore's chocolate frog cards are his spies. I actually made a video about this. You can go check it out right here somewhere. That chocolate frog cards are his way of communication, similar to the Dark Mark or the coins that Harry uses for the DA. And it's very common that Dumbledore knows a lot of stuff. So if his chocolate frog card is scattered across the wizarding world, he could listen in and communicate and figure out all this stuff without anybody knowing about it. He's a very smart man. Theory number 7. 7 is the most magical number, as we know from Voldemort saying, splitting his soul into 7 pieces, and he even says 7 is the most magical number. This theory is not so magical. Hogwarts professors run a Quidditch gambling ring. That just makes me want to go, what? The theories these people come up with, man. I mean, I've come up with some crazy theories of my own, but let's check this theory out. There's plenty of fans. Okay, so basically this theory states that the professors were so in tune into the house winning that they would bet money against each other in order to make it more fun and have a gambling ring. Now we know the head of the houses are Professor McGonagall of Gryffindor, Professor Snape of Slytherin, and then we have Flitwick as Ravenclaw, and Professor Sprout as Hufflepuff. Now there's other professors, but those are the main 4 professors that, are the head of houses, and therefore obviously they want their team to win. I don't think they're sitting there betting all the time against each other. Because then you have other houses playing favorite. Obviously McGonagall wants her team to win, so obviously she's not going to be, she's going to be playing favorites for her team, obviously. But then you have like Trelawney or what's the ghost teacher's name? Professor Binns, or you have Gubby Plank, or even Hagrid in later books. I don't think they're betting on the Quidditch. I really don't. And there's no evidence behind it. It just says that, they want their house to win. Obviously they want their house to win. It's their house. Would you want your house to win? Doesn't mean they're betting on it. Anyway, moving number 6. Mrs. Norris is an animagus and is in love with Filch. This is a very common theory. There's also a theory that I've seen that Mrs. Norris was basically turned into a cat, similar to punishment of Salem in Sabrina. very similar way that something happened and they got turned into a cat. Maybe I'll make a video about that in the future. Who knows? Here we go. This theory suggests because Mrs. Norris is like a great spy and can communicate somehow with Filch in some drastic way, where Filch is a squib and has no magical ability that we know of. So this theory suggests that Mrs. Norris escaped an abusive home and became an animagus to be with Filch and run away with him and always be a cat. Does that mean she turned back to a human when they go to sleep at night? Does Filch ever sleep? I feel like he's always walking in the castle, even at nighttime. I don't think Filch sleeps. That's a theory for you. Now, before we move on to theory number 5, a quick word from our sponsor, which you all know. I do have a few other sponsors, but just it's right here, ready to go. Actually, you know what? No, let's not do a normal sponsor, even though it's sponsor here at sports.com or appsports.com. Use code Johnny here, you save yourself 50% off. But today we're actually going to talk about another sponsor that I haven't talked about in a while. And that is Magic Candle Company. Go to Magic Candle Company, use the code World of Johnny, and save yourself 10% off your order. Magic Candle Company is the best. If you like me and you love going to Disney or Universal or anything like that, and you miss it when you're not there, you can buy these scents. You can buy air fresheners, car fresheners, essential oils, hand sanitizers, body sprays, candles. So you can always smell those smells when you're at home and not in the parks. They have tons of smells that remind you of Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, they even have Harry Potter scents. So they have smells like with broomsticks and other things. Just so many smells of all your fandom needs. They even have Jaws themed scents. They even have a massive overload of all these fandom scents for all your fandom needs. If you love candles and love smells and love fandom, go to magiccandlecompany.com, use coupon code World of Johnny, and save yourself 10% off your order today. Go to Magic Candle Company, the best candles in the world. And they just smell fantastic. They really do. It makes you feel so much immersed in this fandom world that we love and cherish, and that I talk about right here on the screen with you. So go to magiccandlecompany.com, buy a candle, use the code. It helps me out a lot, and I can continue talking about fandoms with you. Let's move on to theory. Muggle-born wizards were a product of wizards having multiple romantic interests. Just reading that title and I'm like, it is stated that Muggle-born is just magic is just in the air. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of. We know that there's 28 original families in the Wizarding world, at least of European, London, esque families in that area. I'm sure there's other families that we don't know about in the United States or Europe, but it's never really stated. It's just we know that there's 28 original families, and obviously they can't always fully keep those 28 names because they start mixing and matching and become one family, and then it's that, and we start marrying their cousins and here back and forth, and obviously there's going to be some half-bloods and stuff like that, and it's gonna happen. But this is talking about like Hermione not having any wizarding in her family that she knows of. How can she get magic? How are Muggle-borns created? It says, Muggles never have wizard children, but are the result of wizards sleeping around. Sleeping around. This theory is fairly a wacky one. It makes me want to say, what? The canon story of Harry Potter doesn't necessarily discuss Muggle-borns too much of how they're created. That's true. It just doesn't make sense. It just says that, there's too many Muggle-borns for this not to be true. But what are you trying to say? That the wizards just cheated on a bunch of people? Or people just cheated on them, so they're not actually Muggle-born? So you're saying Hermione's mom, who owns a dentist office with her husband, because they're both dentists, she slept with the patient who was a wizard. Some wizard was like, oh, I want to see what Muggle dentistry is like. Like Ronald Weasley, Arthur Weasley, who was like, I am very interested in Muggle stuff. Let me go to a dentist office. And then you sleep with the dentist who was a Muggle, and therefore she has and it could potentially be the same age as Ron. Hermione's Ron's sister. I just made my own theory within this theory that Hermione is Ron's sister because Arthur is so intrigued to figure out about that. We know he goes to St. Muggles and asks them to do stitches on him, which is a Muggle remedy for cuts. And he went to the dentist's office, slept with Hermione's mom, and then out came Hermione, which is why she is a wizard, because she's actually a half-blood, not a Muggle-born. And then Ron marries Hermione, and, wizarding families married their cousins and stuff once in a while too, but I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking and just move on. Oh, my God. Moving on. We are done with that. Theory number 4. Salazar Slytherin was Herpo the Foul. Herpo the Foul was known as devastating creation of Horcruxes and Basilisks. Bose Mountaineer theorized that Herpo... Alright, so this Redditor, Bose Mountaineer, theorized that Herpo the Foul was Salazar Slytherin. This theory is relatively likely as there are many similarities between Herpo the Foul and Salazar Slytherin. Therefore, it's popular that Herpo made many Horcruxes that were never found and took on many identities to stay hidden. Yeah, not mentioning that he's Herpo the Foul, but what if Salazar Slytherin actually created Horcruxes? What if one of his Horcruxes was actually the basilisk with inside the Chamber of Secrets? Did Salazar Slytherin have other Horcruxes? Could the heir Slytherin therefore return? Did he have the locket created a Horcrux in the locket, and then Voldemort, not realizing it, created the Horcrux within the locket himself. So there's a double soul within that locket, and therefore when they destroyed it, they destroyed both Horcruxes. Maybe that's how. Maybe if the locket itself was a Horcrux from Salazar Slytherin, maybe that's how Voldemort learned how to open the Chamber of Secrets, because of the secrets within the locket that Salazar Slytherin possessed in there with his Horcrux that he created. That's a tangent off of that theory as well. Getting back to theory number 3. This one's potential. It's interesting that Crookshanks is Harry's cat, not Hermione's. It is stated in Deathly Hallows when they go back to 12 Grimmauld Place, Harry finds a letter from his mom to Sirius talking about, thank you for the birthday present. He loves the little broom. He's flying around the house enjoying it. Something about the cat, and then it cuts off there. Talking about Dumbledore. So it's mentioned that Harry had a cat. The theory is that after the incident with Voldemort, the cat ran away, ended up in Diagon Alley, where Hermione picked it up. And the reason that this cat is significant is because the cat knows what Pettigrew did. It recognizes Pettigrew. That's why it keeps attacking him, and it's why it knows Sirius is innocent. Of course, Sirius would have remembered this cat, I assume, because I assume he met the cat because he's been there before. But the cat and Sirius do definitely get along because the cat knows Sirius is innocent, and therefore chases Pettigrew because he knows Pettigrew is the one that betrayed his family. So the theory states that the cat is Harry's, not Hermione's, technically. And it could be why the cat likes Harry so much, because every time Harry goes in the room, when Pettigrew wasn't around, other stories, Crookshanks would sit on Harry's lap, remembering him as a baby. Now, cat's typically maybe 15 years old, so this cat must have been young at that time, because it's about 18 now. So when Hermione purchased Crookshanks, it was stated by the Magical Menagerie shop that Crookshanks has been there for a long time because nobody wanted him. What if Crookshanks didn't want to go with anybody because she knew? Either way, moving on to theory number 2. Luna Lovegood knew that some magical creatures weren't real. We all love Luna Lovegood talking about Vaxperts and Rumblehorn Snorkax. These mythical creatures that aren't actually mythical creatures. However, she does have those weird glasses, and in the film we can see that she can actually see the experts in Harry's head. That's how she found him. But in the books it's different. This theory basically suggests that after Luna's mother died, it was a way for her to connect with the father and use the imagination to the fullest to hunt down these mythical creatures that don't actually exist. But also, it was kind of damaging. She knew that they didn't actually exist, but she wanted to get this, thing out there and use imagination. So she basically created them in her mind and talked about these different things, and where her father talked about them in the magazine. But if this theory is true and she knew that they didn't exist, and the father actually got the Rumblehorn Snorkax horn, and it was actually a bicorn horn, which is flammable when unstable and explodes and destroys it. Anyway, moving on to the final theory. This theory suggests that Dumbledore planned the Weasleys into Harry's life. And this actually is very common theory. Super Dumbledore did a whole thing about this called Dumbledore's plan, going through each book, talking about how Dumbledore basically planned out Harry's entire wizarding life, at least for the fall of Voldemort. And this theory suggests that because in the books and the movie, we see Harry at the station by himself, not knowing how to get the platform 9 3/4, and you have the Weasley family coming in and Molly Weasley goes, "Oh, which platform is it again?" And of course you have Fred going, "Mom, it's platform 9 3/4, duh." Making sure that they are overheard by Harry in order to, so Dumbledore basically said to Molly, "Hey, you're gonna find Harry in the station. Just play dumb. Make sure he overhears you talking about platform 9 3/4 in some way, so that he can be up with Ron and sit down in the train and they become friends and take over the world and kill Voldemort." Yeah. So that is 10 crazy theories to make you want to say, what? Some of them are kind of like, okay, makes sense. Some of them, and then some of them make me think about other things and discover another theory that Ron and Hermione are actually brother and sister. Anyway, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you comment down below your favorite theory. If you have another theory that is out of this world, comment it down below. And we'll see you guys next time. But before you go, make sure you check out this video here and that video right there. And check out the merch store down below. And check out my Patreon page where I have content on there just for you. And if you want other content just for you and helps me out tremendously, hit that join button right down there. And I'll see you guys in the next one.